Hello. Ooh, new sound. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our graduation. I'm Kristen Dambrowski. I'm the Executive Director for the Northwest region of Canine Companions. I'm very happy to be here with you all today. The love, dedication, and hard work of many people have shaped our service dogs into the incredible animals they are today. Thank you to all of our wonderful volunteers, including our national and regional board members, puppy raisers, breeder caretakers, dog walkers, dog bathers, and those that make and serve our team lunches. Thank you to all of our generous donors. As you know, our dogs are provided at no cost to our clients. None of this would be possible without the dedication and expertise of our exceptional trainers and staff. Your hard work, patience, and love have been the cornerstone of this program, and your commitment to making a difference in the lives of these people and our dogs is truly inspiring. Thank you to Joe and Ken for leading this team. And thank you to the many staff who've had a hand in meeting our mission. Our philanthropy, administrative facility, kennel, Canine Early Development Center, and vet clinic staff work hard every day to ensure our dogs are taken care of and perfectly matched. And thank you also to Shannon, our wonderful caretaker, for taking care of this space and our team. Today we celebrate our hearing dog and veteran teams. Our hearing dogs are extremely intelligent and hardworking. They can alert their partner to key sounds such as an alarm, a smoke detector, an incoming email, or knock on the door to keep their partner safe and aware. These dogs will provide their partners with additional confidence and a feeling of greater security. Dogs that are paired with our veterans are trained to meet the specific needs of their human partner. They can apply deep pressure, nudge a hand to interrupt nightmares, or distract from anxious thoughts. These dogs are truly amazing, and we can't wait to see how these new teams thrive together. To those of you graduating today, welcome to our Canine Companions family. We're ready to help you along the way and to support you on your journey. So congratulations, and please join me in viewing a video sharing our team training experience.
Come here, girl. Come here. Come here. Good girl. That's a good girl.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here to help us celebrate the accomplishments of our newest graduate teams. My name is Ken Reed, and I am the instructor of the Hearing Dog graduating team today. So how each of these 4 people got here is their own story. For one of these folks, they described it as an answer to their prayer. Another described it as an answer to a Google search. No matter whether it was transcendent or mundane, it took courage for them to embark on this radical path. Now it has been my pleasure to have worked with the 4 dogs at the end of their long path of training to be a service dog. They began long time ago as puppies with promise, and now here they are with a purpose. It has been also my honor to have worked with these 4 people who are graduating today. They began a long time ago as applicants, and now here they are fulfilling their dreams. So let me introduce you to them. Let's welcome Corey and Kona to the Canine Companions community. Hold on. You can stay right there. Corey, go ahead. Sit, stay. Judy, sit, stay. When I wrote that first sentence, of course, I was rehearsing it in my head. I didn't realize I had actually written this tongue twister. Corey and Kona to the Canine Companions community. Anyway, so Corey traveled here from Texas, and coincidentally will be traveling back to Texas with her new service dog, who was also raised in Texas. Corey is retired from a long career as a nurse practitioner in geriatrics. Now she enjoys being physically active, going to the gym, doing yoga, hiking, and cycling. Corey is being presented with her new hearing dog, Kona the 8th. Kona is up for the active lifestyle that Corey wants to share with her, while also alerting Corey to the important sounds that she can't hear. Corey, would you like to join me up front now? And Kona is being graciously presented to Corey by her puppy raiser, Judy Bueller, from San Antonio, Texas. And next, I'll introduce Rhonda. Let me tell you a little bit about Rhonda. She drove down here from Washington, and with this weather that we're having, we wish her safe travels as she hits the road and heads back with her new service dog and co-pilot. Rhonda is a professional artist who works with all the General Motors dealerships in the country with their corporate logos and images. In her spare time, she cares for her farm animals and makes quilts and baskets. Rhonda is a planner and organizer by nature and is receiving a hearing dog that can be described much the same way. Louisa the 5th is also known for her intense eye contact. During training and practices with me, Louisa would usually be seen staring directly at me while waiting to alert me to the practice sounds. She was always watching. Rhonda, would you like to join me up front? And now, Louisa is being lovingly presented to Rhonda by her puppy raisers, Abby Scott and John McWeeny from Piedmont, California. And now let's embrace our new community member, Christina. She's also flying back to Texas to reunite with her husband and 2 children and her new family member. In addition to caring for her family and a menagerie of farm animals, Christina also owns a property management business. Christina is a quiet and modest person, but as they say, calm waters run deep. When asked to describe her team training experience, she simply said, "It was very helpful." I know there is a lot more depth to her feelings than her simple response indicates, however. She did let on that she is looking forward to regaining the confidence that has been so affected by her hearing loss. Christina is partnered with Philly II, or as Christina calls her, Ms. Philly. Philly is known for being a heart stealer, and it took little time for her to have Christina's heart. Christina, would you join me up front? Philly is being caringly presented to Christina by her puppy raiser, Stacy Steffi of Woodinville, Washington. And now, let me introduce you to Bruce. Bruce worked for 40 years as an emergency room nurse. Now retired, he is a Christmas tree farmer and a fisherman. So basically, he watches the trees grow and he waits for fish to bite his hook. Bruce has said that this team training experience and all that he has received from Canine Companions has been humbling. Well, Bruce, after all your years of giving so much of yourself to help others, it is our honor to provide you with your service dog that will help you. The name of that hearing dog is Kokomo. Kokomo has always impressed me with her joyful devotion to her work. Bruce, would you join me up front? Kokomo is being generously presented to Bruce by her puppy raisers, Lisa Haddad and Emma Silva of Rockland, California. Congratulations. And now I'll turn it over to my colleague, Joanna Otico, to present our new veteran team.
Hi, everyone. I was just joking with Ken because he was mentioning how impressed he is with the captions for getting names right, and then Ken got my name wrong. My name is Joanna Otico, better known as Jo, and I am an instructor here at Canine Companions. It has been my honor to teach the Service Dogs for Veterans team training class of February 2024. And I already had the very manageable task of a 1-student class. But to add to that, Adam has been a very easy student to teach, picking up on dog handling techniques readily and with a can-do attitude. It's been such a joy to watch him learn and progress as a dog handler over these past 2 weeks. Without further ado, I'd like to invite Adam up to the front, please. I'm not like Ken, I'm going to make Adam stand up here while we talk good things about him. Adam has been placed with service dog Hilda the Sixth. Adam is a Navy veteran who came to class looking for a dog to create physical space in public and to interrupt anxious behaviors. Hilda came to class looking for a partner to let her sneak kisses and provide maximum attention as payment for her work. During class, Hilda could often be found eagerly waiting for any minute movement of Adam's leg, which would signal to her it's time to rest her soft head in his lap. Adam is also looking forward to having Hilda get his and his wife's attention by nudging a leg, and after just a few practice sessions, Hilda is headbutting legs with the strength to rival a hearing dog. We're so excited to watch the bond between Adam and Hilda Bear Workshop continue to grow and thrive. Hilda was raised by Hudson and Larry Sato of Seattle, Washington, and she is being presented today by her breeder caretakers, Elizabeth McBride and Dawn Shaw of Petaluma, California. Congratulations, Service Dog Team Adam and Hilda the Sixth. It is now my honor to introduce Connie Van Squike up front for a special presentation.
That was very good. You got my name right. As she said, I'm Connie Van Squike. I'm a volunteer breeder caretaker for Canine Companions, and I'm also an Army veteran. I'm honored to be with you here today. Canine Companions has a long history of honoring our military members and veterans by placing them with expertly trained service dogs free of charge since their founding in 1975. We always give a Veterans Challenge coin to those clients, and today I'm honored to present a challenge coin to Adam, who served in the Navy.
Thank you, Connie. I would now like to invite Corey up front to give the class speech for our hearing dog class.
Kona is very energetic. Kona, sit. Well, I've already been told it's okay for her to stand. And Ken's going to stand over there just in case I get flustered here. I guess you already know that I'm part of the graduating class of Canine Companions 2024 by this point. That was part of my speech. But okay. I guess you already, I'm tall. So, so I guess you know that I'm already part of the graduating class of the Canine Companions 2024. My name's Corey, and I'm just really thrilled to be here. And I want to tell you a little bit about my story. So I actually started losing my hearing in my teenage years, but I didn't know it. And by the age of 29, I had significant hearing loss. By the time I was 30, I was wearing my first set of hearing aids. And so I decided really that I didn't want my life defined by my hearing loss. But it certainly has been affected by my hearing loss. So I think really what happened is, for me, is that I really tried to listen in different ways. I tried harder to listen to people. And I was working as a nurse. That had been my lifelong dream. I'm going to go ahead and give Kona. That bark tells me it might be good to transfer her over because I'm half distracted over here. Um, so I really did realize that, that this was infecting my life. But as a nurse, I really feel like it made me a better nurse because I was listening to my patients with all of my senses, with all of my heart and being. So that, in a way, was a gift. In fact, in many ways, I feel like my hearing loss has been a gift. And it certainly didn't allow me to coast as a nurse. I had to give almost more than my potential, and so that really pushed me. And even becoming a nurse practitioner after I was a nurse for like 38 years, but then I became a nurse practitioner, and it pushed me to go back to school. I knew that I had to put myself in a position where I could still help people, that I could still be safe and be an effective nurse. So that's why I went back to school, and um, and that was a great decision. And during that period of time, my children were growing up, and I really told them, I said, anything that's worthwhile in life is meant to be a lot of work. And it also takes consistency and it takes commitment. And that philosophy really has served me well. I wouldn't be standing here today if it wasn't for that philosophy. So my disability, in a way, was I try to like to think it was a little bit lucky, at least on a good day. So in 2020, I lost my husband of 30 years. And I also lost all three of my elderly dogs, one right after the other. I already was, loved, how dogs help us so much, just dogs that are not hearing dogs. And so I lost all three of my dogs, and I also lost my hearing. It was somewhat a choice because after that point, my hearing loss was so severe that I was starting to affect my job. I really, and it just always had to strain. So I decided to have cochlear implants, and that was a wonderful decision. It, it was a lot to do in 1 year, particularly with losing the dogs too. So a few months apart, by that time I was deaf and learning to basically hear the world in digital sound, and it takes a while. And by the way, if anybody's thinking about cochlear implants ever, it costs you a certain amount of neuroplasticity that is part of adapting to the digital sound. So the younger, the better. So in while our minds are active. And I kind of pushed myself through that. But during that time, I realized I couldn't hear phones, I couldn't hear alarms. I really was starting to feel kind of dependent. And there was a frantic late night call from my son telling me that there was a tornado in the neighborhood and to get to my safe place. Um, when I take my processors off at night, I hear nothing. I'm completely deaf. And I would not have heard that phone call had I not already been watching the news, already been alerted. And when we're hearing impaired, tend to we tend to be on hyper alert in environments we know that that we're always tuning into everything. It takes a lot of energy, by the way. So I knew that I needed help. And in geriatrics, I also knew that as we age, we tend to, particularly if we have vision or hearing loss, we tend to start isolating. It's easier. It's easier to isolate. And then we start getting into more social isolation. And we are pack animals too. We need our dogs. We need our people. And so then again, I realized that there's something that happens if you start isolating. It can start a whole cascade of health problems. We don't eat as well. We start having more cardiac problems. Our diabetes gets out of control where we start having diabetes. We can sink into depression, anxiety. We can also even start having problems with substance abuse if we're isolating socially. So I knew this was really important for me to take this on. And I also knew it was an important part of aging to age with resilience. And I really felt that this was part of my process, this part of the resilience that I was building is making this choice to be here today. And also during this time, I met no, actually, back up. It was years before I met a woman in Starbucks, and she had a service dog. The dog had the vest on, and it said a hearing service dog. I didn't even know there was hearing service dogs. And so I asked her a lot of questions, and I said, tell me about it. And so at that time, I wasn't ready, but I made a mental note. So when I came to this point after my cochlear implants and all these life changes, losing my husband, the dogs, everything, I remembered that woman. And I said, okay, I'm going to do this for myself. And I did it for myself, and I'm here today because of that. But I also did it for people that I will meet. They'll come up and ask me questions. People that may hear my story, because I really believe that education is we know we've got options, right? We have choices. If we don't know something exists, we don't have those choices. And so I really consider this whole experience of mine lucky. But luck for me comes with awareness and seizing those opportunities. And so that's really why I made these decisions. And I haven't even looked at these notes. but, so, but so anyway, at this point, though, I've kind of gone through my story, but I just want to say how grateful I am for everyone in this program, for all of the puppy raisers, all of the breeders, all of the volunteers that make this happen. I'm just starting to be aware of just what this kind of process takes. And everybody is part of it. And the trainers are fantastic. I was like, I can't sing, but I would say, I would have said, matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match, But, and, Ken has been wonderful. But all of the other trainers, everybody that works in this, all of the volunteers that raise money, the board members, all the people in the background. I had the opportunity I had the opportunity to meet the pilot the other night, who actually flies the dogs and the puppies to different places. And he flies like 2 to 4 flights a month, he said. So all of these people that have made this, possible. And I know that for the behalf of the other graduates in my class, and I'm thinking that we're all just so thankful for being here. One of our graduates kind of summed this up, and since it was in her words, I am going to make sure I've got it said right. But she said, we didn't even know how much we needed our dogs until we had them. And I really think that's so true. I think we all thought we were coping. We were coping in whatever way we, could their best. But these dogs will enrich our lives in so many ways. So thank you all.
Thank you, Corey. I now like to invite Adam up to the front to speak about the Veteran Service Dog class.
As you can see, I have this very professionally folded in my pocket in triangles. I want to thank everybody for coming. I didn't realize actually how many people would be coming today. And it's very impressive, and it's very supportive to us. The veteran class, which is just me this time around, it's not, and the hearing class, we're kind of a unique in our disabilities because we're not obviously have something that prevents us from living life in a normal sense. So it's good to be here with them, and I appreciate every one of them. So my story's, so I got a little emotional earlier, and if I start crying, just start throwing some tomatoes and boo me off stage, and I'll give Hilda a little practice before we go home, and an anxiety interruption, and then we'll go from there. But so PTSD is kind of a tough thing to talk about, and it's kind of in our our nature not to talk about it. You know, last night when we're all out to dinner celebrating our graduation as a large class, everybody with their disabilities were sharing kind of how they got there, and I'm like, I don't even want to bring it up. I'm thinking this in my head, but I thought it was really important to talk today, not only for myself a little bit, but also because I have two young daughters. One's at home right now, maybe watching. She's sick today. Hi, Mina. And then the other one's too small to know what's going on. So, when my first probably true exposure to PTSD was in another service member, when we were doing just kind of a check to see how not, I mean, I don't want to use competent as an illegal term, but just competent in a person-to-person term. And so we had him write down just a sentence, just to prove he could write down and formulate a sentence. And this guy was, you could tell, he was just a strong dude. He had been to combat multiple times, been in and out of deployments his entire career. And the only thing he wrote to me was, "Please help me." And at that moment, I didn't really understand what PTSD was, but I found it so shocking that he would choose those words, coming from a guy who's done nothing but tough things his entire life. It wasn't until when I got PTSD that I really understood it, and unfortunately, it's one of those things you don't get it until you get it. And my PTSD came from a series of more or less life events, followed by a Navy event. And these things always happen around deployment because deployments are just such a nerve-wracking, scary time. You're leaving everything you know, you're leaving everything you're comfortable with, and then doing kind of weird things in weird places. And I wasn't even going that weird of a place, but right like the week before deployment came, my dad called and he said, "Hey, I'm not sure I'm going to be here when you come back." And I knew he was sick, but I didn't know he was that sick. And I know it's probably hard to hear one of our classmates because she just had another loss this week while here. But it's when you're already shook, it's hard to unshake yourself. And then when I went on deployment, then my dad did pass, and he was my mother had just passed a year or two before, my last grandparent the year before that. So I went from a grandchild to the eldest generation in a very quick span of time. I know. And then I started having health problems. I had a herniation in my back, and it was the fourth one I've ever had. This one was my third surgery on my back, and I had this right after I got back from deployment. And to this day, I still don't have some of the nerve in my leg. I never really recovered. And then, that was all. And then the Navy stuff happened. And it's just tough. It just shakes your soul. And then PTSD, I hate to beat down, but, it's just like, the disabling part isn't the anxiety or the nightmares or the being startled. The disabling part is you no longer have control of this. You lose control of your anxiety. I live in a state of anxiety that is easily heightened to disabling situations, and I can't peel it back anymore. That's the hard part. And that's the part and that's the part where Canine Companions came in. And I'm so glad I found them. What little things I did here, I can already tell is going to make a huge difference in my life. When you have the anxiety that's building, it's like an orchestra where different sets of the orchestra just start turning themselves on and start playing sound until your head's just full of sound. And the moment a dog, or in this case Hilda, comes and puts her head on my lap, half that orchestra turns off. And then over time, the remaining orchestra starts quieting. And you can just come back to life. And And I can't tell you how big of a gift that is. It's magic. And it seems like such a simple little thing, but it completely transforms, hopefully, what I can do and not do in my life. I feel bad because I have to spend a lot of time actively turning down these emotions, and I can't be nearly as social as I want to be. I mean, I'm probably the first person to leave the common areas, and it's not out of because I don't want to hang out. It's just because I feel myself cracking, and I just have to step out, and and I want those moments to go away because I want to live life ish normal, you know? I'm not going to pretend it's going to be normal, but it's going to be hopefully closer to normal. And these dogs are so smart. They're so trained. They're wonderful. And I can't tell you how magical it is to have these dogs, and how impressive it is for the puppy raisers, the volunteers, the breeders, the trainers. I can't tell you. I have a pet dog at home right now. If I had to give my dog up after a prolonged period of time, you would have to take it out of my cold, hands. I would not give up that dog eagerly. So what it takes an impressive human being to do what everybody here is doing. And I just want to, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, everybody. And that's it. Thanks for everything.
Thank you, Corey and Adam, for sharing your personal stories. We really appreciate it. Thank you to this graduating team. We're super excited and happy to celebrate with you today. Congratulations. And if you've been tuning in from home, thank you for joining us. Hope you have a great weekend. For those of you who are here, you're welcome to stay for some cookies and lemonade. And I hope you all have a wonderful weekend as well. Thank you.